ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another edition of the Reachin and Teachin podcast presented by CEI Esports. I'm your host, Robinson. I'm joined by my co-host, Johnny. Give me a fist.
Yo. What's going on, baby?
We got a special guest. Another one in person, ladies and gentlemen. We had Alec on. He is a former guest of the podcast, friend of the podcast. We have OG King Curt, head coach and GM of Nets GC, the NBA 2K League.
Woo.
Hold on.
Standing out. I ain't doing all that now, but yo, good looks.
See the gut. Right there. Sun's out, guts out. Let's go. Man. What's going on, my man?
Hey, not much, man. I'm glad to be here. I mean, the vibe in person is definitely a lot different over Zoom, but grateful to be here, man, and always good to be in you guys' company. Definitely.
We appreciate you coming out. We're here in the office of CEI. Like this is where we do our thing. This is where we talk about the podcast. We're in a condensed one. There's different spaces, but we moved to another one. And
Big Boss took over the big one. Sorry,
the head honcho took
Sorry,
over.
though. We'll take that L.
The big guy. We're the medium-sized big guy. Anyways, let's get started. So, how would you describe your offseason as the coach and GM of Nets GC?
Man, I'll tell you, after the season we had last year, of course, you want to keep building on that. Had a phenomenal run, made it to the Eastern Conference Finals. Of course, some things happened over the offseason that, switched our roster up a little bit. But lucky to have Doc and Shots come back. But, from a personal standpoint, I go back to Ohio in the offseason. So, yeah, of course, a lot slower. a lot different. I'm a small-town kid at heart anyway. So I just relax, spend a lot of time with my kids, my twin brother, and just really kind of relax as much as possible. But still working on a regular remote, still building a brand for SGC, and looking forward to what we end up doing in the draft and things of that nature. So can't complain. I've been blessed. So it was a great time, and of course now it's time to kick it in gear here in a few weeks.
So speaking of the draft, myself and Rob, part of the CI Esports team, Joel as well, we were at the draft party for the Nets at Brooklyn. So shout out to Alec for that one. It was a good time, good event. But the 41st pick, he had to wait till the 41st pick. So tell us about that and kind of what was going through your mind during that process.
Draft started at 6 o'clock. I think you didn't make your pick till like 9-something.
Right.
So you're in the draft, the war room, whatever you want to call it, and you're sitting there and just kind of going through the motions. So explain to us how that process worked and waiting so long to make your pick.
I guess, man, I just have to be thankful for who I am as a person because we knew that it was going to be a long time, and a lot of things go through your head because, of course, this year we interviewed probably triple the amount that I normally would, like almost 60 prospects. So we had to be prepared for every scenario that would come our way, and fortunately for us, it worked out. But man, it was a long time, and it's always a good moment for us. Nets GC is grouped under Growth Properties, which is also under the Long Island Nets is under Growth Properties as well. So our staff and everybody was there. We was just kicked back, relaxing, and made a good time of it. So I mean that helped because without that, sitting there for that long period of time, it's too much time to think.
I think I saw them because they had the screen of the war room and they were doing the stream. I think they had multiple meals throughout the time.
Yeah.
For 2-3 hours, you start getting hungry.
I'm sitting there, Brooklyn, drinking Remember, I drank the Falcon Punch drink, and I'm sitting there, and I see them with Uber Eats. I'm like, damn.
They take good care of us. Our business ops coordinator, Mary Amberberry, she make sure everybody taken care of as far as food and things of that nature. So, like I said, we made an event of it, and that's what it's pretty much become ever since we went under Growth Properties. This is our second year under Growth Properties, and it's moving in a great direction. But just more like a family gathering, and when it was time to pick, we were ready. And fortunately, some things went our way.
And let's talk about the players that you took. You took Streets. He got game 34. He probably watched the movie. It's like, oh. and Steez in the draft. Tell us what you liked about them and what they bring to the table.
Yeah, definitely Streets, Chicago native. Very humble kid, man. Hungry, has a daughter. I mean, is 23 years old. But it's just I like his subtle demeanor for the most part. As a person, as a player, I mean, he gives us an element that we didn't possess last year. You know, we were, of course, tops in offense, but, you know, we kind of slid here and there on defense. But he gives us that small forward that's pretty bumpy, you know, going lock up some guards, man, and he knows how to put it in the bucket too. So it's definitely the dynamics of our team is going to be a lot different, and a lot of it starts with him. You know, then we taking now he got game, you know, 034, but he did a name switch, so it's just Tate now.
Okay.
And you know, his last name Michael Tate. You know, young kid, you know, 19 years old from Delaware, Middleton, Delaware. Another, you know, subtle personality, humble, but I mean confident. You know, definitely throughout this preseason, you know, it's going to be some bumps here and there. And I assured him that the position that he's in, you know, he's coming in behind one of the most prolific point guards to ever play in the league. But I let him know that, you know, it's your show now. So now you get a chance to build out your legacy and turn the page for Nets GC. And he's been doing a phenomenal job. And really to round it out with Steve's, you know, he's that glue guy. Very solid player, but possesses a lot of leadership. He's older, mature, but veteran, been in the league for a while. Probably not any situation that he hasn't seen, you know, from an off-the-court perspective and an on-the-court perspective. So he's been a very intricate part in helping the young guys develop. And then, you know, shots. Man. Hey, I mean, it's shots.
Friend of the show.
Shots, man.
So, yeah, and Doc, I mean, you know, Doc is Doc. I mean, very a wizard at the game, plays the game at a high level, multiple positions and things of that nature. But he'll be at shooting guard this year. So I think things are rounding out perfect. And I think we done a great job, a great job in the draft, not only picking the teams as far as talent wise, but just for an overall chemistry standpoint.
And you got Doc. He was competing in the My Team 2K tournament for $250K. I quit that game because I broke the control, so I don't do it. But first of all, you talk about he's no longer he got game 34. He goes by Tate. What do you know why he changed the name? Did he find out that the movie is not real?
What?
He said,
he's like Jesus is Ray Allen.
Yeah, you know, a lot of players go through that where once it gets to they get to the league, you know, it has to pad. You know, they have to rebrand just because of copyright and things of that nature. So he really didn't know what he wanted to choose. So he just said, "I'll just go by Tate." I mean, and that's the kind of kid he is. Like, you know, he don't, like you say, he don't really care about all the glitz and glamour or anything like that. He just sit and you know, do his thing. But off the court, I mean, very cool, like the lab, joke and things of that nature. So. But he definitely didn't have no creativity on what he wanted to do with the name.
So, first of all, I got to say, we didn't talk about this before. Wearing the sunglasses indoor, pure alpha move, what you're doing right now. Pure alpha move. You got sunglasses indoors, that's alpha move.
But let me, if I take them off, I'm blind. These are definitely prescription.
Nah, I'm wearing contacts right now, and I still might bump into a door. So
yo, you got bumped that vision up, my guy, on the contacts.
Cyborg? What's the
bro,
matter
bump
with
it
you?
up, bro. You can't see what contacts in?
All right, John Cena, relax. Take it easy. So let's talk about, we interviewed Pat from Bucks game, the head coach, the GM. I keep saying the GM. We interviewed the GM last week. He had to revamp the entire roster. You had to do almost the same because you lost your sixth man. You don't have one of the best point guards you talked about in the league's history in Chalk. Talk about how tough that was to maneuver, and can you feel like you can make up for, again, you guys made the Eastern Conference Finals last year. How do you make up for what you had last year?
The talent's there from the draft you guys picked up, and obviously you still have shots. But again, talk to us about how you can kind of retool your team now after post-Chalk and some of those other departures from the team.
Yeah, I think the key for me is, like, you don't have to have the same team to be successful. Yeah. I mean, you can win in a lot of different ways. And, of course, everybody knows you can lose in a lot of different ways. But I think for us, it's like, okay, we take a step back. I think defensively we've improved. Yes. And I think we can start there, and then we can build around from there. I mean, the one luxury I have in having shots is that he's definitely top, 3 in the world at his position. And I give major credit to Rhea and Dave Fry for what they do. I think they're all mirror images of each other. But, shots being able to do everything, that helps any and every point guard. So when we looked at the fact of probably picking up a rookie PG who else better to play with him than Shots and Doc? I mean, you got a premier two guard and you got a premier center. So I think that's going to take a lot of pressure off of him of feeling like, he has to put up the typical numbers of what most PGs do. And I think we focus on defense and we build around that, and I think we can still have the same amount of success. I think for us coming in, it was just like, yeah, we were excited about what we did last year. But in order to maintain any type of success, you can't live in the past. Like, you have to move forward. And I think for us, if we felt like if we can improve in a lot of areas that we wasn't so good in last year, that we would still give ourselves a chance to be able to play at a high level and hopefully get back to where we were, and it's still a lot of boxes that needs to be checked for us. Like, we want some banners. Like, we haven't had any banners. We've made some significant, upgrades to our season and wins and different things like that. But we still got banners to go after, and different things of that. Now we had a 3v3, coming up. So it's a lot of different things still that we feel like we have room to check off. And we think that, like I said, starting from improving in areas and building around, the talent that we brought in, I think we still feel like we got a shot.
Yeah.
So let's talk about, you talked about Shots there. He was at Brooklyn for the draft. We talked to him briefly. And then he went to the war room. I bet you he Ubered. He went to the war room.
Train,
hey man, with that wait time, he could have. He went to the war room and he's been at all the events at Nets GC. He made that call when you guys made your draft picks. Do you feel like he's emerged as the leader of the team? And what are those conversations like?
Yeah, I think I'm one of those type of people because, I come from the traditional background of basketball too, as a high school coach. But I've never believed in, like, you can be limited on leaders. Now, certain styles, like, I think now I pretty much have two leaders. Like, Shots is more of your lead by example. Yeah. He's vocal when necessary. Now, Steve's is more the vocal, emotional leader. Like, I mean, I think you need a good combination of both. And I can honestly say in the past I haven't had that. I think our talent over, it succeeded a lot of things that we were missing. Now I feel like, Shots is going to continue to lead by his example of play and things of that nature. But Steve's is the backup to, like, he's the voice and reason to a lot of things that we're doing. And I think it's going to move us in the right direction. I mean, Shots, I like to see players grow. Like, I told him in the offseason, we talked, especially after everything went down, I said, I'm going to need you to step up, and be something that maybe you haven't in the past. And I said that to Doc as well, because Doc is very talented, smart, knows the game inside and out, but he's not always vocal. But I can tell you now, through the preseason and a lot of practice and things like that, he's turning the corner on that, and I think that's going to help us out a lot. Considering we have two rookies, I mean, and two rookies that's playing significant positions. Like, it's the one thing when you got a rookie maybe at power forward or shooting guard or different things like that, but at lockdown, at small forward, lockdown, and then at point guard, I mean, it's. You want to have them around great people that's going to help them.
When you drafted these three guys from the draft, like you said Steve, he's a vocal leader, but obviously you have to have a conversation with them before you draft them and after you draft them. And you said it yourself. I saw on the NSGC Twitter. Yes, I follow them. Yes, I saw you talked about it. You had that conversation with the entire team. So you said you're a player's coach. Explain what that means and why that's beneficial to the team.
Yeah, I think, and another thing I've said, I've even said this on, our Off the Court with OG series that me and Christian do. These players play an unhealthy amount of 2K, like an unhealthy amount of 2K, like, and they know the game inside and out. Mm-hmm. I mean, any GM or coach out there, you can know a lot about the game, but you're never going to probably know as much as the players. And I think, for the fact that I give that respect to my players, I think they give me respect back in return. Like, I'm not going to get in their way. I'm not going to overtalk situations or say a bunch of things that really don't matter. And I think with them, I allow them a lot of freedom in how we game plan, offensively and defensively. And because I tell them this, if I have to lead us in everything, we won't be a good team. Mm. Like, the players have to take some ownership, and that means from the time they get up to the time they make it to practice, to the time they're in practice, to the time they leave practice, they have to take a tremendous amount of responsibility in order for us to be successful. And I think with me, we don't have a strict regimen. Like, I mean, we're in New York City. I got, I can think back if I was in my 20s in New York, like, there's no way I want to be cooped up every day, practicing. So, we practice pretty much from noon to like 6 in the evening, sometimes 4 on a short day. And then I allow them to have their time and go out and kick it and do what they need to do. And on the weekends, like, I give them their weekends off considering how our schedule is going throughout the season. So I think just me allowing them to know that, yes, we do have a demand to come in and take our job serious, but when it's over, let's reflect for a little bit, watch film here and there, and then but go out and live and enjoy this experience. Like, the way our turnover is in the league, there's no guarantee you may come back. So no matter where you are, but especially if you're in Brooklyn and New York City, I want them to be able to enjoy it, have a good experience, and to be able to talk about it later on down the line and throughout their life.
And I think that's before you go, John, I think that's a good point you make. Everyone has to have their responsibilities. That's the same thing we do here at CI. I'm the alpha, he's the beta. So I think it's no, but in all seriousness, but obviously with our team, we all have different things that we have to do, and you have to make sure you take responsibility. But like our head honcho, Jad, you know him. If he has to tell us every little single thing we do, it's not going to work out because he has his hands on all sort of things. He can't keep monitoring everything. So I think that's a great point. And then also you gotta take time to enjoy where you are. You're here for a couple months, but in that moment you're trying to grind to be the best at what you do. So that's a good point. What were we going to say, John?
I think that style of coaching I think is heavily favored by players because again we're all individuals, right? And again at the end of the day, most of them are adults in that team, and you want to be able to show them like, hey, listen, you're an adult now, you're on your own, you're doing your thing. But you have to have some accountability, you know what I'm saying? So hold yourself as well as a team to kind of make sure you perform, do your thing, do what you're supposed to do. Because if a coach has to tell you every single thing, it's like, all right, bro, like, are you really in this or are you not? So I think ultimately as an environment for coaching that, like I think the players probably feel more stress relief is probably good. They probably feel like they can just do whatever they want. Not do whatever they want, but more so just like feel like they don't need to be watched or hovered over. Because, helicopter parents or things like that can kind of turn people off, right, and tune them out. So I think that style of coaching, I think definitely, I'm not saying it's like the preferred method, but I think it's definitely a method that should be considered when you're kind of teaching or coaching a group of young 20-somethings or some 30-year-olds, whatever the case may be. So I kind of vibe with that. That's not my kind of like way of coaching because I don't want someone to be behind me like talking to me about every little thing because, I don't like to take commands that often. So, so that's not my style. But like I appreciate you giving me the freedom to kind of roam and do that thing and have some time to kind of just take away from 2K. We talked off camera about how 2K, it's not it. You know what I'm saying? Again, we professionals in the league, that's great, but you have a life. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's a family, whether it's a girlfriend, whether it's just want to do your own thing. I think you need to have that balance to kind of be performing at your highest level.
Let me add to that just a little bit. Like, for me, a lot of people would say, like, man, Curt, like I've heard this before, like with my team, and not my players, but like my staff, and like, they say, Curt, it'll never look like nothing bother you. Like you always look cool, and I'll be like, I'm like on the inside. I'm all over the place. I never believe like showing that my team that like I'm sweating anything, like because they have enough pressure within themselves of wanting to win, wanting to be the best, competing for a lot of money. Like I mean, so I try to be that calmness in the room, in any given situation, no matter if it's practice, no matter if it's in the games or anything like that. And I'm saying what works for me. And the one thing about Brooklyn, when we talk about micromanaging, like my senior vice president Alton Bird, he oversees the Long Island Nets and Nets GC. And like for me, he's not hawking over my back every day. Like he trusts me with what I do, and I have to take ownership in everything that I'm responsible for. So in turns, that's how I will it down to my players and so forth. And I think that we have the best method working for us, and it's been successful because I used to say, I'm not going to switch up what I do. I need to find the right players that fit what I want to do. Mm-hmm. And I think I'm fine. The more and more you do this, you kind of figure it out a little bit. And sometimes it takes time. I mean, I know our league is going into its 5th season, and you have a lot of people in the community or a lot of players that's trying to make the league. everybody think win. Like if you're not winning, you're not doing a good job, or you're not doing. But it takes time because it's more involved than what people think. It's not just I'm going to pick 2K players and we're going to be this good team.
Yeah.
And it doesn't work like that because it's a lot of intangibles that's involved, and you don't really know until you're in. Because I mean, it's not like I can sit up there. I don't even know how long it would take for me to sit up and tell everybody about everything that I have to do and everything that I'm responsible for. So it's been a beautiful process, and I'm grateful for it.
So I have an additional question. When you are interviewing these players, because I am assuming you hours and hours and hours of interviews, I can only imagine. What do you look for in the terms of a player? What type of questions do you ask, and what do you like? What type of a thing are you looking for when you interview these players?
Just to give you a sample size, it's like when I ask questions, first of all, I want to know how confident they are in themselves. Like, I mean, and you try to read as much as you can. That's the one thing I tell people is that even throughout these interview processes, we're working with minimum information about each and every player. I don't care how good they are. You're only getting a little bit of information, and you have to trust your gut on all of it. And that's something that I've learned and been taught over the time. Like I said, my senior advisor, he's really done a great job in mentoring me and really teaching me how to be a general manager. But I took this approach more about not focusing so much on the talent. It was more so, who are you? Like, who are you when you're not playing the game? Because let's be real, you're off the game more than you're on the game. So a lot of your decision making is going to matter, more so before you even touch the stick. So for me, it was about focusing on who are you outside of the game, and how well will you work with who we have and things of that nature. Just because every organization is different. Brooklyn is business-like, is structured. It's a standard, and it's more so about finding players that we're going to fit that. Are you going to be capable of being managed by me? I mean, and are you going to work well with others? Because, we have a team of people that handle a lot of different responsibilities for Nets GC, and it's not always me. I don't need players that just like me, but then when it's time to work with another staff member, that is issues or anything like that. So, and I told my staff that I was going to take their thoughts and feelings into consideration when I did the interview process, because they are a part of Nets GC. So, like I said, my focus this year was about who are you as a person, like when you're not playing the game. Because I think one of the candidates in particular, he said something rather unique, and it was good to hear from him. He said, "Curt, I'm tired of people acting like you can't get better at 2K. You can get better at 2K over a month or 2 months or whatever." And with that approach, if you got the right group of people together and they allow that process to happen, everybody can improve, and therefore you'll see that you may see some teams struggle in the beginning, but those who keep believing and keep working, they stick with it, and they get hot at the right times, and those are the teams that really have a lot of success. So I think, like I said, this approach was about who you are as a person. How well will you fit within our organization, and are you somebody that gets up at a reasonable time, and things of that nature. Like, who you are as a person and how responsible you are. That was something that I really took into consideration this year.
Cool as the other side of the pillow. That's
That's
what it is. Yeah. All right, so let's talk about this upcoming season. Did you obviously they created the hub in Indy? We found out that Bucks game is not going to be in the bubble on the hub at all?
So opt in, opt out.
Opt in, opt out. Did you opt in?
No.
And can you tell us why? Because I think Pat told us why he decided to stay back for just camaraderie reasons. He felt like just kind of the travel would be a little bit much. Staying put in Wisconsin for him was the way to go for his team. But so explain to us why you want to keep you guys in Brooklyn.
Well, man, let's be honest. Like, I mean, how do you represent Brooklyn when you're in Indiana? You know what I'm saying? Like, there's like I'll tell you, beyond just the whole 2K scheme of things, is like when I wake up and I get dressed and I go outside and I walk out. Man, as soon as I hit that concrete in Brooklyn, like, it's a whole different vibe. Mm-hmm. It's a whole, especially on a nice sunny like it is today. Like, you won't experience that anywhere else.
No, you can't.
Like, I mean, so, and even for my players, they stay in a nice brownstone. 2 bedroom, 2 bathroom, nice place. Like, and even when they come out, like they get a chance to fully experience Brooklyn.
Get a smell of that garbage in the street.
Yeah, man.
See that homeless man walking around. You like,
yo, don't expose us.
Nah, I'm not. Hey, hold on. It's all jokes. New York is the best city in the world. Like I don't imagine. I really don't imagine myself. Sometimes I do, but sometimes I don't. I can't imagine myself living anywhere else. Like
I mean, and the other thing about it, if I'm gonna preach, what we do when we're not playing the game, and we're sitting here in the best city that never sleeps, and it's always something to do, whether it's just walking, go enjoy a park or anything like that. I mean, this is the place to do it. So that was never even an option for us. It never even a thought. And I mean, like I said, he said that off rip, like, no.
Get a bacon, egg, and cheese at 1 a.m. Hit the club, be like, what's good? Let's all right. So do you have any brand new team, 2022 season, the 5th season, the NBA 2K League coming up in April very shortly? Any predictions or things we should look out for Nets GC upcoming this year that you could proclaim right now?
So what we doing? We getting back there? Are we going a step further? What we thinking, OG?
I mean, of course, you wanna create a standard for yourself. I think, and for us, that we've done that. The key to us is being competitive, first of all, because if you're not even competitive, you don't even have a shot to have any of that type of success. Mm-hmm. So I think for us is just the focus on being competitive. But I'll tell you just from a glimpse, short sample size of the preseason, I'm confident that we're going to be competitive. I think it's going to be a different look, different style, but like I said, more defensive oriented. But I think a lot of things are going to come together at the right time. The one thing I like about this team early is the accountability. Like our core values is honesty, hard work, and accountability. And that's even referring back to the interview process. Is like if I had to feel comfortable that you checked all 3 of those boxes. And I think so far our team has done that. I know everybody talks about the honeymoon phase and this and that or whatever. But I've never experienced that because I feel like I never put any tremendous amount of pressure on our team to be a certain way other than something that's respectable from a brand standpoint and a competitive standpoint. But I never experienced that. I think, and that's why the honeymoon phase only matters if they're not cool.
Yeah, like this is not working out.
Yeah. I mean, if you just focus on talent, you'll probably dip during that time. But I think that's why I said for me, like just backtracking a little bit, when all the players got in the market, we spent a lot of time going to games. We spent a lot of time doing a lot of different events and stuff like that. I mean, because that was more important to me than practicing. I think we didn't start practicing till late. And a lot of it was intentional because we wanted to really spend time with each other and get to know each other.
Team building, yeah.
Yeah, so I think when you do stuff like that, and it's not, I'm not saying things are always going to be pretty and sweet because they're not. I mean, not when you're competing for the amount of money that we are or anything like that. But I think the time that we've spent getting to know each other, really getting to understand each other, the amount of time I spend away from them and let them do their thing, I think that's going to be important down the road.
Yeah, you guys went to I remember you saw some of the players, the new draftees were at a Long. You guys went to a lot of Long Island Nets games. Did you guys go to a Harlem Globetrotters game? I could be wrong.
We didn't go to that.
Okay. I thought I saw something like that. I might have been someone else's story. But anyways, let's kick off with some hot seat quick questions. You're gonna rapid fire. You can say this or this or this. All right. Start off. Bone or boneless wings?
Don't do me dirty, OG.
Bone.
Yeah. Thank you. Hot or cold weather?
Definitely hot weather.
Sweating is crazy.
Ohio though.
Hey man,
them winters.
Hold on, let me backtrack on that. Because I always say this: cold weather, you can put on enough clothes to be warm.
Yes.
Hot weather,
you can't.
There's nothing you can do.
You gonna be in the crib with nothing on.
Nudity is not a thing. Nudity is not. You can't. Sun's out, guts out. I can't do that. All right. Favorite TV show ever?
Man, it's a tie, bro. Like it's between Sons of Anarchy, and Breaking Bad.
Ooh. I started Breaking Bad and then I stopped it. Sons
of Anarchy is actually pretty good.
That's cool.
Done,
what what are you binge watching right now? Or a show that you're currently watching, if you're not binge watching.
See, let me tell you something about OG though. I'm an habitual binge watcher. So like I'm keeping up with like 4 different shows right now. So, but I'll tell you the top. I'll rank them. Winning Time. I'm heavy into that.
All right.
Force, Power. I love all they series. I know they take a lot.
Is that the one with Tommy?
Yeah, that's.
Okay, I haven't watched it yet. Okay, cool.
They killed me because I haven't started it yet.
The Cleaning Lady.
The Cleaning Lady. What's that?
Yeah,
That sounds familiar.
I think it comes on CW.
Oh, okay.
I'm a Fire Stick guy, so I'm not always aware of what channel. And then to round it off, Bel Air. I rocks with Bel Air. I mean, I know.
I've heard good things.
I mean, it's
so
because people are disappointed because it's not like. It's saying it's Bel Air, but people think it's Will Smith, and you're gonna have a cue the crowd laughter.
Yeah, no, he says a dramatized version of that particular story, so it makes sense. But I just tell it reruns, like reruns, but like just redoing the same show instead of different formats, kind of weird to me. But hey, I've heard good things about it, so I'll try to check it out. Favorite movie and actor?
By the way,
hold on. It don't have to be from the same movie.
No.
Okay.
So
My favorite. Now I'm letting y'all in just a little bit. Like I'm a hopeless romantic type of guy.
Nice.
Sweet November is my favorite movie. It's with Keanu Reeves and
interesting. I've never.
I forget her name. Charlize Theron.
Yes.
Charlize Theron. Okay.
Yeah. And favorite actor, man, Denzel, man.
Denzel.
Oh my God, Denzel.
No, I could have said Denzel or I rock with Will Smith heavy though.
All right, so what's your favorite Denzel movie? Because I've probably seen almost all of them. So
this is easy.
Training.
Training.
Because that was the first time you seen Denzel tackle a role that was way beyond what you were used to seeing from. It wasn't typical. Okay, so like that's what I liked about it for the most part.
Yeah,
but American
Gangster,
Man
on Fire for me is pretty. Because that ending was.
I had Training Day on DVD. Like I was just.
DVD.
I see him walking with the dude. I said, "He's about business." I'm binge watching Sopranos right now. Joel, for you, I just started season 4. I'm all over the place with Sopranos. I can't get enough.
The Saints of Newark. Hey, when you get done with the Sopranos, watch that.
I heard that it was iffy though.
It wasn't iffy.
I heard it was mid. But all right, and then I'm a big favorite movie is tough. I'm a big Mark Wahlberg guy because he could do anything.
No,
the guy. I watched Lonely Bones. I cried, and then I watch like other guys. The guy could do whatever. What's your favorite pet? Dog, cat, or you have other?
I'm not a pet guy. But
I bet you had a pet fish that you wanted at school.
What? I did. It didn't last long. Hey, but no.
Down the toilet.
My daughter and her mom, they have bullies. So I'm fond of bullies. I mean, because I'm used to being around them because of them. But I'm not a pet guy.
So good. My parents let me have pets growing up, so that's what it is.
My mom didn't play that. She was like, y'all don't even keep your room clean.
She was like, yo, how you gonna walk and feed it? I ain't gonna do it. I was like, you right.
These are hot seat quick questions, but I thoroughly enjoyed it. They went way longer than I thought. All right, so we're about to wrap up here. Anything that we missed or that you want to bring up?
No, it's always a great time with you guys, man. I mean, and in person is way better.
A lot more fun.
Way better. But
you're like, what? Is it recorded? The Zoom is being recorded. It's going on the cloud, or is it going on my computer? Like that whole thing. Like, and then you got to make sure. Joel's like, I gotta fix the audio.
Shout out to our producer Joel, man. God bless you, my guy. And
then you gotta deal with the light behind my head that looks like it's an eclipse. So, and then you see.
I appreciate everything y'all do. I mean, this relationship has been some years now. Yeah. I mean, I definitely. My first season with Nets GC, we did the summer event out in the Bronx. So it's coming full circle.
We found that footage recently.
We saw it like a month ago. I was like, damn, this predates me. But I'll be tuning into you guys. I'm the as you know, I'm the main Nets guy for the podcast. We're still finding out for everybody else to stay tuned. But I'm locked in as the Nets guy. So if you hear something that's related, just come to me. So anyways, where can the people find you?
You can find me, OG King Curt. That's OG KING CURT. On Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok.
We seen that.
And you can go to ogkingcurt.com for everything OG King Curt and the OG 2 Cents podcast.
OG 2 Cents approved.
Without that.
Stamp on it.
Make sure you follow Nets GC on all social media platforms. Nets Gaming Crew, that's Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. And go to our YouTube page as well.
This could be like the real world. When you watch when you're watching with the Nets, it'd be like the MTV shows when they're sharing the house. They're like, they're walking around the reality shows like, what's going on? It's T-shirt time. But anyways, we look forward to what you guys are doing. You guys are very, like, we've interviewed a lot of people, like, all the people we interview, like, including you guys have a really interesting team. There's a dynamic to it that makes us, like, want to watch out and see what you guys do. We're going to see, you guys make so many changes, and we look forward to see what you guys do. So we really appreciate you taking time to come to us on a Monday. So, that'll do for this edition of the Reachin and Teachin podcast. You can check us out on IG, Reachin and Teachin, no spaces, Reachin and Teachin, no G's. You can check us out on Anchor, Apple, Spotify. You want to see his glasses? You just check it out on YouTube. You want to see the merch he's represented?
Hey, listen, man.
The alpha move of the glasses?
I got the Nets glasses. We went to the party, but I need that hoodie. I mean, the sweatshirt. I need something, man. We need something.
We'll take care of y'all. We'll take care of y'all.
There it is. You want to see Johnny's wrinkly polo? Go right ahead. You want to see my side boob right here? Go check it out right on the YouTube channel. That'll do it. Also, check out. Stay tuned for our magazine that's coming in soon.
Man, this is dropping soon, y'all, man. I can't get this just yet, but it's gonna be dropping soon, man.
Unless you're in New York and you're in the school that we're teaching. Anyways, so that'll do it for this edition. Again, stay tuned for more episodes, and we really appreciate it. Thanks a lot, guys.
All right, guys.